Over the 90-year history of the Academy Awards, there have been a lot of controversies. Streakers, problems with the announcement of winners, Donald Duck co-hosting the Oscars in 1958, and yes, that actually happened. And in 1986 you had the double whammy of Cher's head exploding and Lionel Richie winning an Oscar for this mediocre piece of music.
Say you, say me.
There's a scandal that precedes all of these glitches. I'm Terry Frost from Paleo-Cinema podcast, and this is the story of the Oscar winner who became a Nazi. The story dates back to the very first Academy Awards ceremony in 1929 and stretches forward 16 years. From our viewpoint, there were a lot of unusual things about that first ceremony. The awards were presented for works completed in the previous 2 years, 1927 and 1928. The winners were announced 3 months before the ceremony. They could do that because there was no social media backlash in 1929. In those days, social media consisted of either owning a newspaper or shouting insanely from your bedroom window. The ceremony itself was small. 275 people attended it. Tickets were $5 each, which is roughly the equivalent of $71 today. The whole award part of the night took a total of 15 minutes. I assume the rest was taken up with drinking and eating. The ceremony itself wasn't recorded or broadcast. That didn't happen until the following year, 1930, when there was a radio broadcast of the event. Television wasn't an option. TV was still pretty much science fiction in 1929. Warner Brothers got a statuette for innovation for what is widely recognized as the first sound movie, The Jazz Singer. Charlie Chaplin got an honorary award pretty much for being Charlie Chaplin. The next weird thing about the first Oscars, actors were nominated for their performances in more than one film. And to finally get to the point of this video, the Best Actor Oscar was given to a guy who went on to become a genuine, no-bullshit Nazi. Not one of those tiki-torch-carrying losers, but a real first-edition National Socialist arsehole. His name was Emil Yelling, and he won the Best Actor Oscar for 2 movies, The Way of All Flesh in 1927, directed by Victor Fleming, and Joseph von Sternberg's 1928 film The Last Command. The Way of All Flesh, by the way, is the only Oscar-winning film that is lost. No full prints of it still exist. Yannings wasn't a pretty boy like Valentino, Douglas Fairbanks, or John Barrymore. He was stocky and not good-looking at all, more of a character actor than a movie star. However, Yannings was, to give the bastard credit, a really good actor. The 2 movies that got him the gong had good stories as well. The Way of All Flesh was about an ordinary man who makes one mistake in his life that totally ruins the rest of his existence. The Last Command is a really unusual story about a movie extra with an extraordinary previous life. However, Emil Yelling had a problem in Hollywood. He had a thick German accent, and both of these films were among the last silent films that the Hollywood studio system produced. With the advent of sound, Yelling's Hollywood career as a leading actor was gone in 60 seconds. He returned to Europe and starred in both the English language and German versions of The Blue Angel, the movie that made Marlene Dietrich a star. When Hitler came to power in 1933, Yannings became a party member and made films as a part of the Nazi propaganda machine. Both Hitler and Goebbels praised Yannings, and one of his films, 1937's The Broken Jug, was among Hitler's favourites. In 1941, he made an explicitly anti-British film about the Boer War, Uncle Kruger. When the war ended, so did Yanning's career. As a propagandist for the Third Reich, he was part of the denazification of European culture and never made another movie. He died in Austria in 1950. But there's another angle to Yanning's Academy Award win that makes the story even stranger and just a little bit funny. According to author Susan Orlean, when the Best Actor votes were tallied, another big star of the time won the ballot, a star who had made 18 movies in the 6 short years before the awards, all of which were hits. That star was Rin Tin Tin. Wiser heads prevailed. They decided that giving the Oscar to a movie star who humped legs and pissed on lampposts wasn't a good idea, so Yannings was given the award. The decision is a bit moot. Either way, a son of a bitch won the first actor Oscar. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you really liked it, please subscribe. I'll be back soon with more weird movie trivia.